Okay, so um, I'm about to make a. This is actually the part two of building Wakanda, fighting white supremacy. Um, Go watch my first video to understand more on where I'm coming from with this video, if you haven't watched it. So, what I want to continue to talk about in this video, or continuation, is I want to talk about. Well, my last video I talked about. I gave some ideas of how to fight white supremacy. Now, in this video, I also want to sort of elaborate on white supremacy and how it was kind of built, or how it was sort of put in place. So, one thing is, I live in America, right? I live inside the United States. And America, for now, it still is one of the most powerful nations, powerful countries in the world. But it wasn't always that way. There's a series of events and certain things that happen over the last few centuries that has made America such a powerful nation. One thing I want to talk about is how America, or one of the secrets that the elites use to build America into such a powerful nation. The first thing I want to say is, or one thing that I believe is, you have to respect your elders. Okay? What I mean is, for example, say you play sports, say you play basketball. In order to become a good basketball player, right? Especially if you want to be a great basketball player, you have to respect your elders, all right? You have to study the people who came before you, right? So if I want to be an NBA player and I want to be good, common sense will say to study Michael Jordan. Pull up some old videos, watch his moves, study his strategies and watch what he does, and try to learn as much from Michael Jordan as possible. But just learning from one person is not enough. You also have to learn from the other greats as well. So I would also study Kobe Bryant. I would study his moves, study his strategies, study his techniques or philosophies that he may have about the sport, about basketball, right? Then I will look at more currently, LeBron James. Even though I don't really like LeBron James personally, but I do respect his athleticism. He's a lot better than I will probably ever be in basketball and sports. So I would study him too. Study his workouts, study his diet, everything. You know, who else? Steph Curry. He's known for his jump shot. So once again, I will study him, study his moves, study his techniques, his posture, his form, everything, everything. And then once you've studied all the greats, then you sort of put all of those things together into one. Okay? So now when I get on the court, I'm playing like Michael Jordan, I'm playing like Kobe, I'm playing like LeBron, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, everybody. I'm playing like everyone. And basically what you do is you sort of take those techniques that you've learned and you find ways to polish those techniques or to make them better. Learn from their mistakes. Learn from their mistakes and try not to make the same mistake that they made. Therefore, you might be even better than them. You see what I'm saying? This same idea is taken into building a country. See, when America, or I won't say when America was built, but a lot of the elites in power, or the one percenters, a lot of them, they studied the elders who came before them. Okay? If you go to Washington, D.C., you will notice that much of the architecture is modeled after Rome or ancient Rome. Okay? The reason why is because they pay homage to the Roman Empire, because in America, they've learned a lot from studying them. You see, they studied Julius Caesar. He was actually one of the most powerful men who ever lived. He almost took over the whole world. And they studied his strategies. You know, they studied his techniques, his war strategies, his moves, and they took that and they incorporated it into our military today. Don't let them fool you. We're still using a lot of ancient strategies that were made even back during those days. You know, a lot of our politics, a lot of our propaganda, a lot of that comes from Julius Caesar and Alexander the Great. Okay, so we study a lot from them. We learned a lot from the Greeks. Okay, we learned a lot about their architecture, about how they a lot of our construction is learned from the Greeks using their mathematics. You know, who else? Everybody, pretty much. I don't think there's probably one country in the world, especially in the old world, that the American elite did not study. You know, so they took a little of something from everybody, and they learned from everybody's mistakes. Okay, there's even a conspiracy saying that after Nazi Germany, or after the World War, well, I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think it's pretty true that after World War II, many of the Nazi scientists were brought to America, and Americans, we paid the Nazis to teach us a lot about their technology. You see that? So that's what America is. We don't just sit in the house and think of everything ourselves. We study other people. You know, we collect. It's a collective sort of thing, and you polish it and make it better. This is how America, in fact, I think that even the slaves, I think that when it comes to slavery, I think they may have studied ancient Egypt and other groups of people in the past that have been put in slavery, and they learned from the techniques that those slave owners used and used them on African Americans in America. Okay, so African Americans need to I'm not saying to own slaves, but you need to take this same idea when it comes to building your own life, when it comes to building a business. You know, if you want to build anything you want to build, you should sort of go out and look for other people, not just one person, but try to learn from as many people as you can. Try to Google it and do research and find people who have done things similar to what it is you want to do. You know, if you want to start a certain business, find someone else, or do research on another business that's similar to it, and do research on the person and learn their history, learn what they've done, and what techniques, what opportunities that they have, or what opportunities did they create for themselves. You know, pay attention and study. This is how you do it. See, I feel like a lot of black people, we talk about the things that we want to do, but I think one issue, like for example, we have a lot of you know, this what you call it, like not black, like this black movements, you know, these little, you know, Black Lives Matter, and these little movements within the black community, or should I call them black intellects? I don't know the word. I forget the word. But anyway, a lot of these people, like Dr. Umar Johnson, and you know, people like that, these are good people, and I believe that a lot of things that they teach is positive. The problem is, I feel like a lot of these type of people, what they're doing is they're not really using any models from the past to really back up what it is they're teaching. You know, they're telling black people you need to do this, you need to do this and do that, but they're not really giving us examples of uh, things that have been done in the past to prove that it actually works, you know, and really give us people that we can follow. You know, I think that if they say, okay, if we want to build financial power in the black community, you have to study other communities that have done the same thing. It doesn't have to be Americans and it doesn't have to be blacks. It can be Asians, it can be Mexicans, it can be uh, um, who else? Africans. You got a lot of Africans coming to in America, and they building very nice neighborhoods in America. Okay, so basically, look at what they do. Look at what Hispanics. Look at what they do. They're immigrants. They come here, and within 10, 15 years, a lot of them, I say in the last, I would say 20 years, maybe 25 years, and many Hispanics, many of them are ahead of of Black Americans. A lot of them are ahead of us now, and I feel like we're not really, you know, we're so caught up in the way we think that we don't really want to take notes from other people. I think that's definitely one of the downfalls of Black Americans is we don't really take notes from other people who are successful at certain things. You know, we don't want to do it unless they're black, which is that's real stupid to me. You know, if somebody does something that's successful at it, you might want to take notes and try to study what they do, and then you do the same thing and try to polish it and make it better. You see what I'm saying? So that's all I really want to say. I might also make a part 3 to this. So yeah, that's it.